Welcome you all. Today I'll continue the discussion on function. This is the second part of function discussion, and in the last lecture we talked about how to means what is the syntax of writing a function. And in this lecture I'll try to write a complete program how you are going to use function, where to write functions, whether you are going to write the function above the main function or below the main function. All these things we are going to discuss. So without spending much of the time, let us discuss that how to write a function in C programming language. So if you remember, in the last lecture we talked about what is the syntax. That is called your return type. Then you have to specify the function name. Then you have to specify the parameter list, and every function has a body to execute the task. Okay, so the simplest program that we are going to write today is your write a function to add two numbers. Fine. Okay, so to solve this problem, what you are supposed to do is you have to think, if you employ a robot who is trying to add two number, then what should you give to that robot? That robot must take two number and he should add it and he should return the result. So that means we are talking about integer addition. So what you are supposed to do is you have to write the function name first. Okay, so decide a function name. Let's say I'm deciding the function name is addition. Okay, that is that I have decided. So you just think your function name, that is your task. After writing the function name, then you need to think what your function need to take. So we are supposed to provide two variables, let's say int a, then int b, right? So he has the means I'm giving two variable to this function. Now function has two variable, he has to add it, but we need to decide on the return type as well. So what should be the function is going to return? It should return a integer value, because after the addition it produces an integer result, and that integer result the addition is going to return. Now that the first line has been decided, now I'm ready to write the body of the function. So inside the body, what the function should follow, means what are the steps the addition function should follow to reach its destination. Its destination is finding out the addition of two number. So to make that possible, the addition function, or the robot whose name is addition, he requires another variable, let's say int c. Okay, after that the robot know how to add two number, so he can write something like this: c is equal to a plus b, right? After that, what the robot is going to do, he is going to return the value of c. That's all. Okay, so this is what the function is going to do, right? After that, what is our task left? So this is the function part we have completed. Okay, so now this function will not execute of its own. Somebody has to use it, means somebody has to call this function so that it will be executed. So who is going to call this function? If you remember, I told you that every program in C must contain a main function, because the execution starts from the main function. So generally we, after writing the function, we need to call that function inside the main function so that it will start executing. Okay, so what you are supposed to do is you will write the main function over here. Let's say void main. Okay, after that you need to call this function. So to call this function you require two number, is not it? Because the function demand that you should provide me two numbers so that I can add it. So that's why the main function, while calling this function, need to provide two number. That's why where should the main function gets that number? He should collect it from the user. So for that, the main function will require two variables, let's say x, another one is y, another variable will be required, that is, let's say z. Why it is required, I'll tell you in a moment, but just assume that we need three variable inside the main function. Okay, two variable, that x and y is used for reading the input from the user. So let us write down printf enter 2 number, right? So this 2 number has to provided by the user. So we will read it through your scanf function, scanf, then percentage d, then ampersand x and ampersand y. Okay, so we have done that. Now when the user types something on the keyboard or the number, that number will be collected by the scanf function and it will be stored in x and y. That's fine. So now what is our task? Our task is to call this function. So how this function is going to be called? I will use the function name and I'll pass two variables to him. So that will be addition, okay, and I have to pass the two number, that is x comma y. So this is the two number that I am going to pass. And where should I get that number? I have already taken that number from the user using the printf and scanf function in the line number 11 and 12. Fine. So I call that function. Now you know that this function is going to return an integer, is not it? He is going to return an integer. So if he is going to return this integer, where should I kept it? Means because main function is calling this function and the function is returning something. So if the main function don't have a variable to catch that return value, then how the execution will be taken place? That's why this z is required. Right, this z is required to catch the value which is returned by your addition function. Then where should I use z? I should write z something like this. Z is equal to addition xy. So that means I am calling the function with this line, as well as whenever this function executes and returns something, I'll keep it inside z. Okay, so that is the fundamental concept of writing a function. Well, now after after the addition has returned the result, that result will be stored in z. And what is our task left now? Our task is to print the value of z. So how to print it? So printf the result, the addition result is equal to percentage d. Then we need to type z over here, and I think that's all. That's all for this program. Okay, so if I run this code, what is going on? Let us see. So I got lots of error. What is that error? Okay, fine. I might have written something. I have missed everything over here. Like I have missed the has include part, that is header file, has include stdio.h. Fine. So that's enough. I think it will be working. And percentage d, that's right. Let me execute it. Well, so return c is something conflating, that is unknown name. Return, did you mean restrict? Return, okay, return spelling was wrong. Return, now it is fine. Okay, so let's execute it. Oh, it's running fine. So let us enter the number. Let's say 23. Then I'm giving another number, let's say 45, and we are getting the correct result as 68. So by now I hope you understand how to write a function, but this is not enough about function writing. We will create another video on this. I'll start from this program only, because there are several terms associated with function that need to be discussed. So I'll explain it in the next video, and it will come within 1 or 2 hours. Okay, so just tune for that video. Goodbye.